Hey, have you seen Sideways? He's not around again.
I don't know, haven't seen him.
Well, I got some bills on the mail, and it says that we are paying for a new band, a couple of statues, and get this, bodyguards. And you're not gonna believe who they are.
Come in, minions. You know why you are here. I started the Sons of Unicron. And then the last night, I will become the ruler of the new world. And nobody know of my master plan. I will make videos with my left hand and gain money with me right. I will take a potato chip and eat it.
Well, hello guys, the Firebrothers here. It's just me again, and today we're doing the episode 10 special. It's actually kind of weird because I never expected this series to do this well, and so many of you like it and so many of you want me to keep on going, even though the last episode didn't do that well for whatever reason. It's my lowest wasted potential up to date in terms of views. So make sure to go to that video, like it immediately, and watch it after this video, of course. But anyways, Skids and Mudflaps had to be the two most hated characters in the entire Transformers series. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Dinobot knows that, the Raging Nation kinda admits that, I know that most people can agree, and there's still people who like them. And that's totally fine. I know a couple of my fans who actually kind of like Skids and Mudflaps. I gotta say that at one point I liked them, but I wasn't crazy about them. So yeah, today we're gonna cover their wasted potential. Do they even have wasted potential? I think the two characters are just wastes overall. Wait, is that still recording? Okay, so like always, we're gonna start with the movies. So Skids and his brother Mudflap were part of a task force deployed in Shanghai to root out the Decepticon activity. So they were just cruising down the streets using the ice cream mode, and when the amazing, awesome, totally handsome, ruthless sniper Sideways decided to flee the scene because he was like, oh yeah guys, listen, I don't have time for this, so if we can make this some more time, yeah, that'd be great. Who wrote that on the script? So while the RC sisters were chasing away Sideways, the twins on their ice cream mode were trying to catch up, but Sideways was too fast for them, and they couldn't keep up, and they ended up de-transforming. Is that even a word? After hitting a wall, Mudflap threw the blame for the separation, and Skids was really angry that he smacked his brother in the face. Much later, we see them on the base Diego Garcia and Ned's headquarters. The twins received new separate alternate modes because their ice cream mode did not suit them with their different personalities and, you know, aggression towards each other. Much later in the movie, after a lot of pointless romance and pointless college stuff, the twins and the Autobots were deployed to rescue Sam with Wiki from Megatron and the other Decepticons. The twins, however, and the other Autobots arrived way too late, and not only had Megatron killed Optimus, but he was about to kill Sam. The twins and Bumblebee managed to escape with him, but on the process, while the Autobots remained behind to cover Bumblebees and the twins escaped. They got separated from the other Autobots and they were left on their own for much of the film. Later in the film, the twins were seen here and there teasing Leo, and at one point Sam Witwicky asked them about the symbols that he saw in his visions, but the twins replied with, "Hey, we know speak Cybertronian." Yeah, that was pretty racist, but that's how a lot of people interpret the twins overall. With the help of the Decepticon Wheelie, the twins, Bumblebee, and the other humans made it to a museum where they reawakened Jetfire, which he revealed the location of the Matrix of Leadership. They were all then teleported to Egypt. Over there, once they found the Tomb of the Primes, the two twins got into a pointless argument and tried to murder each other until Bumblebee just smacked them around and threw them in the ground, showing them how inferior they were. Okay, this is sounding kinda racist, so disclaimer, I don't mean anything by it. So after telling Nest that they had the Matrix and a way to revive Optimus Prime, the Nest forces and the Autobot forces decided to rendezvous with Sam with Wiki on a nearby city near the pyramids. It was at this moment where Starscream spotted the twins and Sam and tried to blow them all to Hades. But the Autobots managed to escape Starscream's barrage. Wow, isn't he amazing at his job? While they made their way to the pyramids, the twins and Bumblebee got separated. And unlucky for them, they just ended up being in the one place where Devastator was gonna make his amazing, totally radical, deviant first movie appearance. And as soon as Devastator began sucking the sand and things around him, the twins and the humans decided to go away towards safety. But during this, Mudflap got swallowed by Devastator. Too mature? Yeah, I know. We need to tone down this, guys. We're gonna lose the ad revenue. Skids was pretty upset that he saw his twin get eaten. But after that, Devastator was shaking his head. And then we saw Mudflap pulling out of Devastator's mouth. Really? Who's coming up with this script, guys? This is not PG-13. So the twins decide to climb on Devastator and just shoot around and try being a noise to Devastator. Now, a lot of pointless jumping and stuff happened before the twins eventually shot each other and they both knocked each other out. This resulted on Skid losing his golden tooth in the process. The twins and the two humans deciding not to pick a fight, remained under Devastator until he went away. The twins were not later seen after this, but we can assume that either Devastator decided to squat over them, smashing them to death, or number two, wait, that never happened because we see them in Dark of the Moon. Yes, the twins appear on Dark of the Moon. When the Autobots return back to the base, Skids and Mudflap can be really briefly seen behind Sideswipe and Q. So that's it for the movie, guys. Now we're not covering the Titan comics because that's way too long for me to cover. But we are gonna cover the IDW comics. So this is gonna take us back to our, precious little Autobot female known as RC. So yeah. During Tales of the Fallen number 6, RC and her sisters were captured. And that's when the whole, mind transplant thing happened when RC and Chromie and Leader 1 started sharing one mind. RC noted that Skids and Mudflap were also there captured. Now, what we learned from this is that the mad Decepticon scientist Flatline had basically fried Mudflap's and Skids' brains. So they were not really always, all weird and Michael Bay-ish like that, but it's because of Flatline that they ended up like that, and they ended up with the minds of 5-year-olds basically. So yeah, after helping the twins escape, the twins kinda just hang back not knowing what to do, while RC, Leader 1 and Chromia were fighting Flatline and Thundercracker. Yes, Thundercracker is on the films, well the comic version at least. RC and her sisters managed to outperform Flatline and Thundercracker, and they got desperate, so they decided to blow up the ship which held them captured. Skids, Mudflap and the sisters made it out, and then set off to find their own ship. The Wreckers, along with Sideswipe, managed to pick up a transmission from the sisters and the twins, so they picked them up from the planet they were stranded in, and they all traveled together into Santium, towards Earth. Much later in the issue of Alliance number 4, the Autobots found the twins, the RC sisters, Sideswipe and the Wreckers in a junkyard, hiding after receiving Optimus Prime's transmission from the first movie, in which then they all decided to join the Nest forces to fight the Decepticons once more. And now we're going to Nefarious number 1. In Nefarious number 1, the twins were helping Sideswipe chase after Alice, the crazy hentai tongue tentacle thing from the Revenge of the Fallen movie. Yeah, apparently she's still alive. They were helping Sideswipe hunt her down, but the twins were mostly useless and they didn't really do anything. Wow, even in the comics. And Sideswipe killed Alice once and for all. Much later, Theodore Galloway and his unit were attacked by Ramsack. The Nest forces dispatched a couple of units and the twins to go and protect Galloway. While Ramsack put up a good fight, the twins, all they could do was hold him at bay until reinforcements arrived. Once reinforcements arrived, they scored Galloway to the Hoover Dam, Well, they started investigating about this new human group called the Initiative, a human organization that was trying to get rid of Autobots and Decepticons alike. While they were there, Skids Mudflaps realized that there were traces of residual energy from the old spark that had been kept there. The Hoover then was once the location of, Sector 7's secret forces. So that explains why Skids Mudflaps noticed that there was some residual energy from the old spark left in there. We find out that the human organization, the Initiative, was trying to create their own Allspark, but instead of using the Allspark to give life to Transformers, they were gonna use it to take life away from them, essentially killing them. So Soundwave reluctantly joined forces with the Autobots. He realized that with his master gone and the Decepticons currently in disarray, he needed to work together with the Autobots to save their entire species, at least to save their entire species on Earth. Skids and Mudflaps and the remaining Autobots later met up in the location known as Crater Lake, where the Initiative was hiding. But we later found out that the Initiative used the Allspark to brainwash some of the Autobot and Decepticon warriors that they had captured. Armor High, Smokescreen, Lockdown, and a couple of others we don't really need to mention. So the Autobots and the humans tried not to kill the captured Autobots and Decepticons. They didn't want to kill their friends, and they were being mind controlled. They also worked as backup for Bumblebee's team of cadets in the final battle. Eventually though, Soundwave and Optimus managed to destroy the fake Allspark, and then the remaining members of the Initiative were either killed or captured. Soundwave eventually joined back with the Decepticons, and the twins remained to clean up the mess. And now, we're in the Rising Storm. So, at some point Ness discovered that Starscream was selling Transformer weaponry to humans. So they decided to make a sting operation staged by Theodore Galloway. At this point he was working closer with the humans and the Autobots, so he was getting along with them. So Theodore posed as a buyer to lure the Decepticons in. Starscream then arrived with Skystalker, Dime Bomb, and Fearsword to commence the trade. But at this moment, the Archer Sisters, the twins, Ironhide and other Ness forces joined in. They all started engaging the Decepticons. The twins mostly served as backup but didn't really contribute a lot to the fight. But when most of the Decepticons were killed, Fearsword raised his hands in surrender. He was later taken as a prisoner. Later, Samuel Wiki, after coming in contact with Brains, a rogue Decepticon, he was being targeted by the Decepticons. So he contacted Ness, as Philadelphia was being attacked by the Decepticons. The twins and other Autobots later joined Optimus Prime and his team to go and fight the Decepticons. Once they arrived there, Skids and Mudflaps started fighting against the countless Decepticons that were in there. They were not really seen throughout the fight, but they were seen later charging as Shockwave after he killed the little one and severely wounded Mirage and Wheeljack. Skids and Mudflaps later survived the battle, and they saw the driller take Shockwave away to safety. Okay, so this leaves us to Transformers Dark of the Moon, the adaptation, the comic adaptation. And now this scene apparently was gonna be on the film, but since people didn't want Mudflap and Skids to be in the movie, it was cut. So I guess we could take this as being canon. We're not completely sure, but I'm gonna take this as official canon. So later when Sentinel Prime confessed to working with Megatron and he killed Ironhide, he then pointed his gun at Bumblebee. He was gonna kill him. Bumblebee was shocked that his mentor and old friend Ironhide was killed in front of him. He was unable to move. Then the twins ran towards Bumblebee. Skids charged forward to stop Sentinel Prime from shooting at Bumblebee, but he ended up taking the full force of Sentinel Prime's blast and slowly rotted away just like Ironhide. Skids' last words to Mudflap were, "Sorry bro, I guess I wasn't as smart as I thought, so That was my Jeff the Killer voice. I don't know why I just did it to Skids, but we're gonna go with it. As Skids was rotting away under the effects of the cosmic rust, Mudflap got so angry that he charged towards Sentinel Prime, trying to fight him in a 1v1. But then Sentinel Prime just pointed his gun right at him, and Mudflap fell to the ground. Bumblebee decided to transform and get out of there, knowing that there was no way he could beat Sentinel Prime. Sentinel Prime then shot what remained of Mudflap, ending his life. And that's it for the twins in Dark of the Moon, the adaptation, and the comics. Okay, so now, this is the part where I give my thoughts on how this should have been handled. Okay, so frankly, I would say that we shouldn't have had them at all. You could have Revenge of the Fallen without Skids and Mudflap and nothing would have changed. I would even go as far as to say that the Revenge of the Fallen would have been a much better movie if they were in there. Because they were annoying at times. And the fight against Devastator was kind of annoying. But it wasn't annoying, it was just that it was pointless and it didn't bring anything to the fight. I mean, the twins and Devastator kind of just, effed off after a while. Listen, if we didn't have the twins there, we could replace those two Autobot spots for one Autobot. We could have, like, I don't know, let's say Smokescreen in there. Smokescreen would probably be like a lot like Sideswipe, being cool, giving one-liners, that kind of cool stuff, And he could have probably gone along with, Bumblebee instead. And instead of, having Bumblebee and the twin and, Smokescreen separate once Starscream starts bombarding them in Egypt, we could have an entire segment where it's just Smokescreen, Bumblebee, and the humans trying to reach Optimus Prime, while Devastator just does his thing on the pyramid. We don't have the giant Deus Ex Machina, gun that shoots down Devastator. With the twins gone and the gun just, out of the way, we could have had Devastator being alive. We could have another cool character in the roster, and then we could probably have. We could have Optimus Prime power up with Jetfire versus Devastator versus the Fallen versus Megatron. Like, let's say Optimus engages Devastator for a couple of seconds, since he will be alive if Skids and Mudflaps weren't there. And let's say Agent Simmons wasn't there, and we take out the entire Deus Ex Machina machine. We could have had a 3-on-1 fight. Now, I will keep this really briefly. While Optimus Prime engages the Fallen and Megatron, the remaining Autobots, Bumblebee, Smokescreen, Sideswipe, Ironhide, maybe even Chromia, because we do know she's alive at this point, could have engaged Devastator. That could have made a much better ending for Revenge of the Fallen, having this big all-out brawl. And for the arc of the movie, could have just had Smokescreen be in there and probably, having us comedic relief or whatever. So whenever I, say how I would handle it, I usually say that I would have used the character on this way, or, I probably would have, done this instead or changed him for another character. But I honestly think that the movies would have been way better if the twins were not there. You could switch the twins with anyone. Smokescreen, Windblade. Heck, you could even have Whirl. Whirl will be more interesting than these two. He would have been even more useful. He could have just, taken Sand and Michaela and the humans and just flied all the way to Optimus Prime. Therefore, we could have, shortening out the final battle a lot and ended up having just this epic brawl between the Autobots, Devastator, the Fallen, and Megatron. In terms of the wasted potential scale, I'm not ranking them as, if they were good characters, if they were way bad characters. I'm gonna rank them as, their potential. If they could have been better, if they could have been worse, something like that. Honestly, the twins were pretty bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, no one can doubt that. So yeah, I actually think the movies would be way better if the twins were not there. You could literally take the twins out of Revenge of the Fallen and almost nothing would change, aside from a few character interactions and probably the ending I just made up, but other than that, everything else will not change at all. You pretty much have the same movie. So I wouldn't say the twins had that much potential to begin with. I mean, they were the kid appeal characters. But you don't need kid appeal characters, you already have Bumblebee. The kids love Bumblebee, you don't need to have more kid appeal characters. That's like my main problem with those two. And I guess from the beginning we didn't really have much hope for them. But the thing is, unlike Jazz, unlike Infernicus, unlike the Dreads, unlike Jolt, who only was in the movie for like 5 seconds, the twins were in most of the movie. Like, they were part of the main protagonist crew. Like, that's the bad part about them. It's like Sakura from Naruto. Like, people, say, oh, Hinata's way better, even though she barely had any screen time. Now, people compare Sakura because she's useless, like she barely does anything. And the reason why people hate her so much is because she's a protagonist. People will hate her more than Yamcha from Dragon Ball because Yamcha is not a protagonist, he's a side character. But Sakura, she's a protagonist. The twins are a protagonist. So our expectations for the characters, for the main characters, are gonna be obviously pretty high. So that's why I'm saying that the twins have a lot of potential. Probably the most potential out of anyone in the list so far, since they were main characters. Well, at least they were, you know, really in their secondary characters. So yeah, just for that, I would say that they did have a lot of potential and they didn't live up to any of that potential. They were not even funny. I mean, some people found them funny, but okay, that's you. So just because of that reason, I'm gonna place the twins at the ranking number 4. Yes, unlike the last Decepticons, unlike Jolt, unlike Dread, unlike the Mirage, Infernicus, and Jazz, who actually fulfill the purpose, the twins had high expectations. They were like almost main characters. But I'm not gonna place them any higher than RC, Shockwave, and Devastator because unlike the previous characters, those guys are famous and our expectations of those characters are obviously gonna be astronomically high. Now the twins, we didn't have that much, you know, expectations from them in comparison to the Shockwave, Devastator, and RC. So that's why I'm gonna place them lower than them, but I'm gonna place them higher than anyone else. Like, their potential was really wasted, and I hope Michael Bay is really proud of doing this. But anyways guys, that's just my opinion. Do you guys think twins were wasted? You guys believe they should have been out of the film? I personally believe so, and a lot of you guys are demanding for a Sideways episode. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. Listen, if we can get my previous video, my Minecraft trolling video, if it does reach 500 likes, I will totally make the Sideways Wasted Potential right away. Like, you're not even gonna wait like 3 weeks like I usually do with this series. As soon as it gets 500 likes, that's when I'm gonna start working on it, legit. Get it? Because I know my Minecraft trolling episode's not gonna get 500 likes. So it's kind of pointless, so that way I can do someone else other than Sideways for episode 11 and... Stop filming that! Stop filming!